Hi, I'm Cruz Anthony Herrera, and in this video, we're going to be going over the last part of this composition. So, previously, we have gone over letters A, B, and C. Okay, now that was the hardest out of this entire cadence. So, letter D right here encompasses this part all the way to the end of the composition. So, that's it. And this one is actually primarily shorter than all the other ones, so this should be pretty easy. So the first things you do have to understand is if you saw the previous video where I talk about letter C, the ABC march of the composition, you have to pay close attention after you finish that rhythm. So for letter C, the rhythm was, but at letter D, the first thing I need you guys to notice is we are going back to 120 allegro speed, okay? So the tempo has decreased significantly from 200 minus 80 BPM, and so we're back to 120. So that's the first thing. So instead of going at 200, now we're going back to 120. It's like, all right, so that's the first thing. And then the second thing is, because you played at letter C the rhythm at ABC for 24 measures, you do have, the first thing is, on letter D, an extended measure rest. So the extended measure rest is going to go for 4 bars. And keep in mind, now you're back in 4/4. So now you have to count differently. So previously with 2/4 it was 1, 2, 2, 2. Now with letter D, you're back in 4/4 timing, so you have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and so on until you get fulfill the 4 measures where you don't play anything. These extended measures are written in because we have to wait for the girls' instruction, but it's also helpful because, like I said, you have to learn how to build that internal clock. You have to learn how to count these kinds of measures and bars. So on here, here's something a little bit new, but not too hard. We have our new rhythm. Now, notice, it's written significantly different than the previous ones. So the previous ones, the notes were written in line, and then it was circled in or drawn in. This part right here, if you can see, it's a line, but an X is written in on the snare line of the bar of the bar or the staff. So an X is written on the staff, and typically with drum music, that just means acrostic. But sometimes with drumline music, when it's written in as an X, instead of playing on the pad, you're actually going to be playing with the sticks. So this is going to be example. And what I just played, as you can see, that's written in as the X's on the lines. Okay, so this rhythm right here it's very simple. You have 3 quarter notes and then 2 eighth notes tied. Okay, so I count my 4 measures at letter D, and then I go into the next section of the bar, which is, this is going to be the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and. And once again, we're going to be working with our measure repeats. And the measure repeats are only for 1 bar, so we have 3 of them. And if you add that up with this bar measure written in, we're going to be doing for 4 measures, okay? So you have to count. So you have to count 4 measures. You have to count 4 measures where you don't play anything for the extended measure rest. And then the 4 measures, you have to play this. That's your 4 measures. And that's it. That's the end of the composition. The last thing I want you to realize is there is a way to recognize so you won't confuse yourself and you'll know where we're at in our cadence or performance or whatnot. If you look on here, there's little notes written in that says, go to sleep time. All right. Now, in the cadence, what's going to happen is, and for those drummers that have worked with me, you'll know this. The girls are, once again, they're going to call off this part of the composition. Go to sleep time, wake up time. So that's the first way you'll recognize it. And that's where, while they're chanting off or calling off the composition, that's where the 4 measures come in. So if they're like go to sleep time, wake up time, go to sleep time, wake up time, that's where you're gonna be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. The last thing I wanted to mention is because for this composition we're gonna be working with the sticks, be very careful to not lose hold of the sticks. One thing I've noticed about working with the drum line is typically when you're not playing anything, the tendency is to put your sticks on the snare or just hold them like slouching kind of. And the one thing I always emphasize is you always want to be ready. It doesn't matter if you're counting a 50 measure extended rest, you still want to be prepared because you need that internal clock, and also you need to be prepared to play, because if you notice, like I said on this composition, you start on the first beat, so you're playing throughout the whole measure. Dot 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 dot. All right, that's it. That is our performance cadence, and we will be playing this in our upcoming performance. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.